This is the exact reason why I dropped from a A average in pharmacy school and got my first B grade. This is exactly why, and I'll tell you in a second why. So making good notes is the key to getting good grades, right? Or so I thought back in pharmacy school. Yes, I was indeed achieving top 10% in my undergraduate pharmacy degree, but in exchange, I was losing out on my social life, I was losing out on sleep, I was losing out on doing the things that I love. And in contrast, in med school, I was still achieving this top 10% grade average within this bright cohort of students, but I was able to have so much free time to do whatever I like without feeling guilty, and I was able to spare so much time to help other students as well, and developing an online program helping thousands and thousands of students every single year. But why am I saying that this is the key for me dropping my grades from an A average to B grade despite studying so hard? Why was this the difference? So the first cardinal sin of effective studying is passive learning. So this passive learning is the biggest time sucker ever. It lulls us into this fake sense of productivity. You feel like that you're studying, you're reading notes, rereading notes, highlighting notes, and you feel like you're understanding it, but it's this illusion of recognition versus your actual ability to recall. That is the main difference. It makes us feel that we're doing a lot, but in fact, none of this effort is actually contributing towards your final exam grades. So throughout my studies of first and second year of pharmacy school, it's relatively early of my studying career. My study methods were highly inefficient, and I was studying day in and day out and was still really inefficient. I never really evaluated on my study methods. I just thought I need to study hard, and I was getting those A grades just because I was putting the time in, and I never evaluated it because I was getting these good grades. It's not until I progressed deeper into the third and fourth year where the content continued to pile on and I was struggling to cope. I was losing out on sleep, I was losing out on my free time, and I was being unhappy. I was really unhappy. It took a toll on myself, it took a toll on my long-term relationship because I was so stressed. I wasn't able to provide the support she needs, where she was actually going through the same thing in pharmacy school as me as well. And take a look at this book we talked about. It's one of the best resources compiled into this book. I spent so much time on this, hundreds and hundreds of hours throughout the semester to compile this. My colleagues even offered me $50 to $100 to buy this book off me because they thought this was the study Bible. And it is. It contains all the information succinctly distilled inside this book. But why was this my downfall and brought me my first B? Yes, first of all, I was really inefficient and I wasn't evaluating my study techniques. Then I spent so much time making these notes and never had the time to consume all of this. And this is what passive learning do to us. Whenever you're compiling notes, transcribing things, compiling things together, a lot of this is copy and pasting and not truly us using our memory to recall and forming deep understanding and able to explain it in our own words. All of this is not happening. It's just superficial learning. This is why it's so ineffective. For an hour of studying and typing up these notes, probably only 2 or 3 minutes of that actual information goes into my brain. So after a 10-hour study period, probably I've done an effective 20-minute studying if I were actually active recalling this thing per se. Make sure, if you haven't already, check out this video on the 7 habits of highly ineffective students, and make sure you're not doing some of these when I was back in high school and early years of my pharmacy school. But here's an easy test whether you're actually doing passive learning or not. After an hour of your usual study, maybe it's reading information, highlighting, compiling notes, make sure you shut off everything. Get out a blank piece of paper or open up a blank Word document and try to type out, write up whatever you can throughout that past hour. How much of that information are you able to type down? If you were like most of the students that went through this experiment, most likely it's going to be about 5 to 10%, and that becomes a problem because if you are only able to retain 5 to 10% of information, that's what's carried around in your brain, and that's what's going to be in your exams tomorrow or a week later. So if this is a problem for you, make sure that you have methods to try and shift this away from passive learning to more active learning, more explaining, more teaching by doing, more active recall. And this makes a whole world of difference. And there are so many YouTube videos teaching you about this as well, but you just need to take this on and instill this, incorporate this in your own study routines. So I hope this video has been helpful for you. Make sure to like and subscribe, and I look forward to seeing you in the next one.